Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man Donovan Sadiq in the building, the Queen, Demetra K, and I am the 5-star general. Got my man in the building. You got your stimulus? Man, we on some old school drug shit. We talking about flipping this money, man. But we gonna flip it the legal way. Say, man, Walter, we need that Kanye money, man. Hook us up. Let's get to it. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in. You know, without you guys, we would not have a show. And we really appreciate you taking time out to come on up in the building with us. I want to start it off by saying, when you mess with family, you mess with 5-star. Got a crooked cop over there in that Homestead area that's terrorizing the community. I'm finna shut you down, homeboy. I'm finna shut you down. You know, out there doing that stuff to black people, racial profiling, and I know how they get on over that way, man. Them boys ain't playing over there. It is what it is, man. I plan on shutting them down, and I think by between now and Monday, we're gonna neutralize your ass. I know today on the Hill, Capitol Hill in Texas, you know, they were up there speaking on the George Floyd Act. You know, our good friend Robert Williams, you know, that's a bill that he's behind. Ron Reynolds, state rep, Dr. Candace Matthews was on the Hill, and they supposed to do a slab ride and all that stuff there, but hopefully they can get some type of legislation passed, you know, to get some police reform in the state of Texas. But I also know that in the morning, them Republicans finna decimate y'all on that voting fraud. They got something going on. They got to speak on their bill in the morning. It's a whole lot finna change on the voting aspect in the state of Texas. So if y'all think y'all gonna get away with the same thing you got away with last time, oh, it wasn't no cheating in the election, you a damn lie. They got something for you in the morning. Dr. Hosey, do your thing, homie. I'm tired of my neighborhood looking like it look. What's going on, Donovan?
Man, welcome to the Thursday edition of the War Zone. One of the days that I look forward to because I got my pen, I got my paper, I got Walter's in the building, and so I'll be taking some notes. But I just want you guys to know, thank you for the words of encouragement. Demetra did not eat my lunch yesterday. It is just the way it is. You know, but this is what makes the show so doggone unique. Now, for all you brothers, I have formed 1 million black men against Demetra K. If you want to join, you can join.
Just roll with it, baby.
Right, there you go. You know, she can hold her own. That lets you guys know. But in the national news today, Joe Biden gave his very first press conference 60 days into his administration. He said, I am worried about the COVID and getting the economy going. It's about the money. So, you know, big ups to him for focusing on that. But he said, I don't see pulling troops out by May 1st that was signed into law by President Trump, the deadline to pull them out of the troops. Now, the majority of the troops that are fighting are your children. These are the ones getting blown up and coming back messed up in the heads and all that other stuff. And a Democrat, Joe Biden, said, I don't think May 1st is a date that we should look forward to pulling the troops out. Maybe next year. Just depends. Demetra?
Yeah, well, we know Joe Biden is pro-war, so that he ain't thinking about that at all. So anyway, you guys, it is.
And real quick, I'm sorry, I forgot this. And by the way, at 79 years old, which he's going to be this year, Joe Biden says he's running for re-election.
Shit. Ow. So anyway, you guys, welcome to Thursday night edition of the War Zone. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. As you can see, we have Walter, the money man, as we call him, here in the building. And he is going to talk about what you can do with your tax money. A lot of people are getting the income tax return and all of that. And you might be wondering, what can you do with it to make it go a little bit further? So He is going to give us some strategies. But in the meantime, if you can share this live so that everybody else can get the information and join in on the conversation, we would greatly appreciate it. Gary?
Man, the man here, and I'm an old school drug slinger from back in the day. I'm used to flipping my money. I done got my little change, man. I wanna flip it, but I don't want to have no white residue on the table and no, them old school razors. So I need my man to lace me on how I gotta flip it. But I'm gonna call him out in front of y'all, man. I'm gonna call him out. The man was in Texas the other day looking for some property. I sent him a text and tell him I know one. It got 46 bedrooms and 26 bathrooms. He texted me back, I'm gonna call you. The nigga ain't called yet. I'm trying to see if he's serious, but I know he's serious. But I mean, he here tonight. He gonna talk to us. If you got your stimulus, man, listen to this man. Get a pen and a piece of paper. Take notes. Do what he tell you to do. And you could be like Tara Taylor. She listened to him so much, she made enough money to put a whole down payment on her house. Brand new house. Walter, what's going on, my friend?
There it is. Everything's going on. Yeah, I was in Texas last week. I love it, man. I had a blast. First of all, people are way nicer. Stuff is way cheaper. Cigars are half price. Man, I'm walking down the street. People, hey, how you doing? I'm like, oh shit. All right, what's up with these people? I was like, if one more person say hi to me. So no. I did go there. We started in Dallas and Corinth, Texas, looking at shady shores of buying some properties there. You can buy property in Texas is getting hot, but there's some good deals out there. We're looking to buy some land and build on it, build some resorts on the lake, to rent out for Airbnb resorts and stuff like that. So I did get your message.
Let me just say this here. I ain't mean to interrupt you. I see our good friend LeakU from leaku.com is on here. One of the top internet bloggers in the country, man. Make sure you subscribe to her page, man, because she be on it, bro. But go ahead, Walter. I just wanted to show her some love.
No, let me write that down. Shit, I like to follow people that's making moves. What'd you say? Oh, all right. I like that too. And you got the domain name. Good for you. So, anyways, when I was out in Texas, and there's actually some good opportunities. First of all, you guys, you have the ability, like I was in Dallas and people have these 3, 4, 5, 6,000 square foot homes. It seemed like everybody had one. I was like, man, do you know for the house I'm sitting in that's worth $500,000, do you know what I could buy on the lake in Texas? I was like, man, I could have animals. Anyways, so that's what I was doing last week. I wanted to, leaders lead from the front. So I said I was going to go invest in Texas. And so that's where I was last week.
Now, you don't mind tonight if I interpret for you, do you? For the people that's from the hood. What he's saying is, y'all, he could have a house with some exotic animals like Mike Tyson and Michael Jackson, and not like y'all in the hood that only focus on pussycat.
I mean, the house is big enough for that too. I mean, truth be told. But so here's one thing I learned from just being in Dallas and out near the lakes is the people in Texas tend to be more calm. 1, 2, and they're more laid back versus the people. So people from California coming there are like, whoa, we can do this. We move faster. This is easy. Everybody's waving. We picking up money. So I do enjoy, I do enjoy Texas. I can see myself living in Dallas, Corinth. It's a nice area. Looked at some personal residences too, just in case we decided to move right away. So, but then, and I noticed all the restaurants, everything's opening up, and I noticed people are getting back to normal. So with that being said, there's going to be more opportunity because people, when the world opens up, what do? They spend. It's money time right now, you guys. So tonight, what I said I would do is I would go over what to do with the stimulus and the tax returns, and I'll focus on that, right? You can use, so I'm going to do step 1. So this is note taking time. I guess that's what you wanted to do, right? So I have this thing. It's called the Coulter method. I'm going to break it down to you. It's how to use your tax return to build your credit and build your wealth. And it goes just like this. I'm going to give it to you one step at a time. So 1, let's say you get your, I don't know, let's say you get your $1,400, right? Some of you are getting a tax return. And if you were not aware, there is a COVID credit available for families. So, and I think I have to ask my son, but I think the credit's up to like, I don't know, 5 to 8 grand or something like that. So let me be clear. You had COVID, or you had COVID. I don't know. How do you know you had it unless you tested? And you took care of yourself or somebody with COVID. I understand there's a credit, like thousands of dollars that they give to you on your tax, like they give to you, not a deduction where they take it from your income, but a credit that they give to you. So I think I had COVID. I'm almost positive I had COVID. So I'm going to check into that break. So you want to make sure, first of all, that you get all your tax deductions. You guys, if you have things that you did in business, and even if you lost money, which most businesses do in the beginning, make sure you write those off so you can get that money back. Number 1. 2, another thing I want to say really quick, for those of you who have not filed 2019 taxes, not 2019, do that. And if you had self-employment income, you need to file that income. Let me tell you what's happening with people right now. Speaking of stimulus, this whole PPP thing, they're giving away money based on your 2019 tax return. So some people, what they do with self-employment income is they write it down to 0. Then when the stimulus rolls around, because you don't have income, there's no PPP, those benefits aren't there. So what I recommend is, if you haven't filed, even if you have filed, you can always amend your tax return. So I'll give you an idea. For somebody that claimed $35,000, $40,000 in 2019, even if you claim it, you can still take off your standard deductions and things off of that number, so your taxable bill still goes down. But somebody that had $40,000 in taxable income, I think, is getting like 16, 17 grand from the PPP, which is a 1% loan. Not to mention the money you got before that, and then the SBA. And now they have, if your neighborhood is considered in the low 20% poverty, they are giving you an additional $9,000 in grants from SBA. Now, I can show you my laptop. I promise you. Listen, I'm in a gated community, but my neighbors are struggling. Maybe that's why we got the gate. So I'm in that 20% zone. So I'm getting my 9 grand. Right? It's a government program that my son dug up. So between that and the 2 PPPs and the SBA, I mean, some of you guys could be looking at, geez, 25, 35, 45, $60,000. I mean, damn. So and that's just from having your 2019 tax returns done right, period. So what would you do with 40, 50, 60 grand? The government said, hey, we're going to give it to you at 1%, and some of it we're going to forgive. I mean, damn.
Hey, he asked y'all, what would y'all do with 40, 50, 60,000? I know some of y'all on that Nate Dogg shit. Smoke weed every day.
Oh, man, I said I was going to try and compose myself tonight. But seriously, but just think about it for a second. What I'm saying is, I don't think most people really understood what I just said. Make sure your stuff is in order. And the government is throwing money. You guys, the administration that's in right now is going to bankrupt the country, and they're going to toss everybody a check. If the ship is going down, you might as well grab a lifeboat. Get the money, right? They're talking about, I've heard rumors of them loaning out money at 2% forever. I mean, that's money you can take. Like, if you can borrow money at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, and you're business minded, do you know what you could do with that? So what I'm going to recommend is make sure that your taxes are filed. Stop writing your income all the way down, because when you do that, then you have trouble qualifying for loans, the stimulus packages. This is why the cruise ships, which is one of my recommendations for tonight, which means all that means is this is what I'm doing. The cruise ships aren't getting stimulus money because they file in like the Virgin Islands and things like that. They're not U.S. companies. It's kind of like Christopher Columbus. They never been to the U.S., but they're not getting that stimulus money. So they're having to go out and borrow money from the private. So, but with us being U.S. citizens, we have the ability to get the stimulus. So make sure you're 19, and I'm saying in 20 returns, because it's probably going to be something for 2020 tax returns. It's just we don't have the deadline to file yet, which is probably why they're not using it. So if you haven't done your 19, go do them. And if you can amend them, I'm not telling you to break the law. Just if you think you can amend them and put yourself in good favor and, make sure you do it legally, then go for it. So with that being said, let's go back to Jamaica, which is open by now, right? So let's assume let's say me and my household, and we got $3,000, right? Me and my girl, we each get $1,400, right? And we got $600 before that, but I know a lot of people have already spent that. So which is unfortunate. So I'm not going to talk about that. So you got $1,400 each. There's 28, almost $3,000. So I'm going to use $3,000 tonight. And by the way, for some of you that have 4 kids at home, I mean, that is, what is that? $5,600 in additional money. I mean, I yelled at one friend of mine. I damn near cussed her out. She got 2 kids and her and somebody hiding under the sheets. I'm like, man, that's 4 times $1,400. Do you realize that is $6,000? Do you know what you can do with $6,000 if you're not on Reebok shit? So we're going to come back down to $3,000. Here's what I would do, and here's what I did a few years ago, is take the $3,000. We're talking about building your credit and your wealth. What you need to do is get your credit. So take the $3,000 and divide it up amongst 2, right? Take $1,500.
Is this step number 1?
Yes.
And what is it again?
So step number 1 is I want you to keep that money. That's step 1. Step 2 is what I did is I found some secured credit cards. I just Googled best secured credit cards. I got Capital One, Citibank, Orchard, they suck. So does First Premier, but they did come up. But Capital One and Citigroup are 2 of the best secure credit cards. I can tell you right now, I have my Citigroup, and I have my Capital One. Both of these are secured credit cards that I use. So I'm not telling you shit that I haven't done. I'm telling you shit that I did, and I use these credit cards all the time. So
hey, look, what he telling y'all is Gary Monroe couldn't get a credit card before he came on this show. And over the weekend, I qualified for 3 of them unsecured. Take notes, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, so there's one. Here's the other thing. And I'm just gonna. So now you have the 3,000. Give Capital One 1,500. Give Citibank 1,500. Now you have $3,000 divided by 2 secured credit cards. So now you have $1,500 each with these two companies, right? They're gonna send you a credit card in the mail. So now you have 2 credit cards now that have $1,500 each. Then really all you need is a 3rd line of credit card to really get your score moving. Now you can divide it up amongst 3 credit cards. You can do that 1, 2, 3 and have $3,000 line of credits. You can also do that too, right? This is going to move your score. Now, what happens is you use them every month and you pay them off. So what I do with my credit cards is I pay them off every month. And what I do, here's another thing, you guys, if you're applying for credit, is pay them off before the statement date, because the statement date, they report that to your bureau. So let's say you're applying for credit, but your statement date's on the 12th and you apply on the 15th, even though you've paid that off on the 12th, it will still show when you run your credit, it will still show because it's going to take them a month to the next month on the 12th to show the new balance. So make sure if you're going to pay these off before the statement date. That's one thing. So now that I have these two $1,500 line of credits, what can I do? Some people, right now, this is car season. This is car season. So, and a lot of people I talk to, well, I'm buying a car. I'm going to use my tax return for a car, which I think is insanity, but whatever. Go for it. You guys, and if you're buying cars from car dealerships, I mean, take the Vaseline. It is what it is. I've bought and sold hundreds of cars for friends and family. And my buddy owns a dealership, and we sat down and broke bread in his office, and he showed me 8 to 10 ways that they get you every time you buy a car. Even if you think you're getting a good deal, they get you left, right, side to side. Right. So stay out of the car dealerships, period. Even if you want to get you for $200 or whatever, go get your auction card and go in there and buy you something. I mean, there's just things you could do, right? So you have the $1,500. Now what you do, let's say you wanted to acquire something that cost $1,000. What you could do is you could take $500 off each card and you could buy that thing. And then what you do is you just pay that thing off. But now what you do, you have these 2 lines of credit. The other thing you could do, and if you must buy a car, I mean, like if you got Lyft, Uber, or you need a car, let's say you must buy a car. What you could do, and I wouldn't recommend this, but it is something you could do. You could pull from those credit cards and use that money to put a down payment on the car. Now you have a 3rd line of credit with the car. Now, car loans, installment loans don't build your credit right away. Matter of fact, they're slow as molasses, but it is one way to go. So $3,000, 2 secure credit cards. I got $1,500 each. I could go into the dealership, swipe those credit cards for my down payment, and then pay on a car. So I have the 2 credit cards and the car loan that I use my credit cards to swipe and make the down payment on the car. Does that make sense? Now you have 3 lines of credit. Go ahead.
So we got 1, keep the money, 2, get 2 secured credit cards, and what is 3?
So then what you do is you use those credit cards to purchase something that you want. So for, let's say, here's another thing. People are going to take their stimulus money and they're going to go out and buy a TV or whatever it is. So instead of buying the TV, send the money to Citigroup and Capital One. They're not paying me yet. That's just what I did, right? So then use those credit cards to go into Costco or Knickerbockers or whatever you got out there where you live, and swipe those and take the TV home. Now, honestly, if you have the money, if you have the cash, there's so many ways. There's things you could do, but you could go to the store and you could buy the TV off the credit card. So you still have the line of credits and the TV. Matter of fact, this TV right here, I bought from Costco for $233. It's like a 55-inch smart TV. I thought about putting it on eBay. But the point I'm making is, if you wanted to do something like that, use the credit card and then pay the credit card back. Now you have your line of credit. So that's one thing you could do. You could do this. There's all kind of ways to use the Coulter method, but this is one of my favorite. Now, there are companies out there, and I'm just going to tell you what I did, right? So now we have the line of credit. There's a company called Self, SELF.com. You can pay $25 a month to, I believe, $150. What Self does is say, listen, we're going to pretend that you have a line, you owe us money. And we're going to put it on your credit report that you owe us. So this is what I did. And I did this 3-4 months ago, and it's on my credit. My credit scores are already come up. So what I did is I said, I'll give you $150 a month. So on my credit report, and it doesn't show up as Self, it shows up as Lead Bank or something like that. So if you go on my credit report, I owed Lead Bank in the beginning of the year $1,800. So it was a line. They didn't run my credit. And here's the other thing, you guys, something I wrote down is when you run your credit, don't let me talk about this. Do soft inquiries, pre-approvals. They will, I got my Venmo just sent me a $7,500 credit card in the mail by doing a soft pull on my credit. All they do is they go to LexisNexis and SageStream. And like when you fill out an application, you say you make $107,000, tell everybody that. Use the same address. Use the information every time you raise your voice, talk, write something down, because all those companies, they collect the information. So when Venmo goes, oh, we're not going to run his credit, but we're going to go to these other third-party credit bureaus. He says 107 across the board. We see his address. He's boom. We'll give it to him. right? So Venmo did not run my credit. It's not an inquiry. So, there's several credit card companies that are doing that are sending me credit cards just by using the soft inquiry method, which I'll get to. But I had to build my credit first. You see what I'm saying? So on this show, I always say, when I speak to people, you are 12 to 24 months away from retirement. What that means is you can look your boss in the face and say, I'm no longer begging you as a grown-ass man or woman for a day off or what I need to do with my time. You can have control of it. I'm not saying that you have enough money where you won't have to work. I'm saying when I say retire, I mean that you'll have freedom. You know what I'm saying? I was in Texas. Most people, Sunday night, the airport was packed. I was like, I'm not doing that. I left on Monday night. Do you know how many people were on my 10:55 flight? Like 12. It took 30 seconds to get to security on a Monday night. So you can use your credit to do this right away. So now that you've had these 2 credit cards and then you bought the car, if that's what you want to do, or let's say you wanted to, I don't know, a lot of people buy furniture with their stimulus. I go to OfferUp, eBay. I don't buy furniture from a furniture store unless I go to a Costco or like IKEA is doing some really cool stuff right now. And they also have a credit card, a Project IKEA card that they will give you. If you do it right, they will do a soft pull. So do these things and then go to self. I have an $1,800 that I owe them. And every month that I pay, that $1,800 gets smaller. Now, the FICO system with its crooked ass, when it sees that I have an account with Lead Bank, all it sees is that I'm paying it down. And so after about 3 months, these things really start to fix, really improve your credit. So there's one thing that I did. It's called Self. You can start with $25 a month. And basically, and what they do after 3 payments, and here's the cool part, they will give you a secured credit card with only 3 of those payments. So I signed up for 12 months at $150 a month. They have my 3rd payment in the bank. So on my Self, when you log into your Self account, it shows, 3 payments, and it says that I'm eligible. I don't know where that came from. I'm eligible. I mixed up able and eligible. I apologize. Real quick, let me finish. So I have $450 minus, a couple little fees they charge. So they'll send me a secured credit card right now if I wanted it. Go ahead, D. Move this bottle, don't it?
I want to hold on that because I think you lose to some of us. Okay, what's step 4?
Okay, no, it's only step 1, 2, 3. Step 1 is hold the money. Step 2 was open up the credit cards. Step 3 was use the credit cards to swipe and buy something, pay off the credit card. So
that was only 3 steps to the culture method.
Correct. It's quick to the point. Yep.
Cool.
1 to right. CR plus 1. That's all you need is 3 steps. So now that's one thing. You can repeat that over and over and over, right? Every time you guys listen to me, every time you get a lump sum, you can do this. Even every time you get paid, you can open up a secure credit card and you can slow drag your bills for 2 weeks until you get the new card and you can pay them and you can start paying these things off. Now, this gets a little chaotic, but how much chaos would you deal with to in 6 to 12 months have your score go from 600 to 730? It isn't. I'm telling you guys, I didn't use my credit. I was like, I'm never using my credit again. I'm cash. And about 2 years ago, I was like, that's some dumb shit. So I started building my credit. 2 years ago, I had, I think I had a debit card and like one of those online cards because I swore never to use credit again because I was blinded by this stupidity. And so I went from 2 years having no credit cards to having like 15, 20. Just boom, boom, boom. Once I got the Capital One in the city, people started sending me offers and then boom, they just started flying out of nowhere. Right?
So Shaquila, how you doing from YouTube? She says the steps you're talking about now are to build credit. So she's saying is this is how you build your credit? She just wants to get a confirmation.
Yes. So it's step 1 of building. So it's credit, building your credit, and then using it to build your wealth. So what I'm teaching you right now is how to build your credit. So you can go out and then get money to build wealth. Does that make sense? So, because 2 years ago, based on the fact that I wasn't using my credit, I couldn't go out and borrow money I could have bought a house because, you need pretty much income and a decent FICO score. But as far as doing what I'm doing now with like property and investments and just businesses, I wouldn't be able to do that. So now that I built my credit, now I can go out and borrow more money. Right. One or two, when people go to hire you, or when some people are just running your credit just because to see what type of person you are. Right. So do that. Do the culture close. Next, do the step thing. The step is easy. Here's another company for those of you who are paying rent. There's a company called Isusu, ESUSU. Google Isusu Rent. What they will do is they will give you rental credit for the last 2 years where you live, if you've been paying rent. And I don't care if you rent in a room. I don't care if you rent in a hammock. It don't matter. What I did is I went, because the house I'm on a lease to own, whatever. It's not costing me shit because of those 2 rooms back there at Airbnb. But I called my landlord and was like, hey, this company says they need an email from you to verify I've been paying rent for 2 years. He did that, and boom. And then every month when I pay my rent, I text them, and then they put it on my credit report. Go ahead.
I think you can also just ask your landlord to report it to your credit, because a lot of times they're set up to do it from their end without you having to pay anything. So sometimes it's just really simple as just asking them.
That's true. You can do that. And I thought about doing that, but I know my landlord. He like, Walter, you Airbnb, I already know you make money on the deal. He ain't trying to do nothing extra. He like, how you live for free? Oh man.
So we were supposed to also be talking about what to do with this income tax monies.
Right. Well, so the income tax and the stimulus, I'm grouping them together because they're ironically coming at the same time, right? So now, let's say you have the $3,000 from the stimulus. You want to add a little money to it. Let's say you got a tax return of $3,000, right? So now you have $6,000. What I would do is I would repeat the process. Now I would have 4 credit cards of $1,500, and then go out. And now here's what you guys can do. You guys, there's another company. You can write this down. It's called Plastique, PLASTIQ, where you can swipe your credit card and pay people. So let's say you wanted to pay your rent using the credit card. You could do that. You see what I'm saying? So what it allows you to do is use your credit card to then pay for things that you would normally do with cash. So on a venture that we're on, we use this company to get some work done on one of the properties. So we're still able to get the mileage, the free airline points and all that, but use this company called Plastique, right? So now you can use this. You can take this $6,000 and use it for an investment. I know I spoke to Tara on here through Messenger. She was saying that she used the information from this show to make a down payment on her house, which I think is cool. And you could do that, right? So now that you've started your credit, you have the stimulus and the tax return. You have these lines of credits. From there, we need to determine what to do with these things. Some of you guys have said to me, I want to start a business. Can you start a business with $3,000 to $6,000? The answer is all day long. I started Cornucopia with hundreds of dollars, $10 GoDaddy account, a free, the WordPress, and me and my son typing all night. And that's how you
recommend that someone start, especially if they've never owned a business before. What are your recommendations so that they don't? I mean, because business is risky, but what do you recommend that they can start even on start on a smaller scale to where they won't lose all of their capital?
Strip club.
What we're doing tonight is a good idea. Like this is a perfect like thing. Like you guys always tell my sister, where's your Cash App? Where's your T-shirt? How come we came by the fist on the shirt? Like every time you go to YouTube now, you see that merchandise column. They all got their merchandise column. right? I don't care if it's Drac the stripper. He got a knife on a shirt and you can buy it for $29. So that is something that does not cost money. You could do those things, like even this show right here, right? We have some good information on here, and once in a while I'll get somebody that has a question and wants to do things. So you could do that. My YouTube channel is not up. I have somebody that's actually staying with me, ironically, that's going to be helping me with my YouTube channel and is going to pull it all together for me. But something like that where you can provide information. You guys, I bullshit you not. If you YouTube Tasha K, she is like literally, what happened to D? She gets snatched. Oh, I know she's down there next to the border. So so Tasha K, she, you know what she does? She talks mad trash and she drinks wine. That's what she does. And her YouTube channel is growing. So let's say you like to drink wine. You can start a wine channel. And you could start that. Maybe you won't make a lot of money in the beginning, but if people will pay you $20 a month to help them pick the finest wines, why you could do that. I started my membership. That's $99 a month. I just walk people through the ways of getting their life in order, be it weight loss, managing money, cars, homes, buying stocks, you name it. So start something that you're good at. You don't have to, I think brick and mortar, I think those days are dying. Where I rent a store and sell hair or tires or some shit out of it. I think those days are going away, right? You have to be brave right now to open a brick and mortar store, baby. Unless you were going to do, like if I was going to do that, and it's one thing I thought about, here's something else you could do, especially in Texas, is if I was in Texas and I was just, what do I do? And I wasn't really wanting to be on the internet, I would say, you know what, I'm going to get me a little food truck. When I say food truck, I mean one of those push ones. And I have barbecue and tacos, and I'd have beer, and I'd be selling beer, barbecue, and tacos. There's a taco truck by this gas station. I noticed he had this raggedy ass truck, and now I see he got a stereo, he got tables. I see his life improving. And he started with this ratchet taco truck, the gas station by my house. So everybody likes to eat. And now we're smart enough to know if you're going to do food, make sure they can sit outside. That's what they do in Europe anyways. I don't know what's taking America so long to have an outdoor seating. It's barbaric to me. So do something that you're good at. If you can make chicken pot pies from your house, tell everybody and sell them from your house. Now, I know there's some legalities in the food code and OSHA, whatever. Man, just do it. Just start something. So find something you're good at. You know, I like to smoke cigars. So one thing I could do is for my membership, I could teach people how to smoke cigars. Do you know you can go to Cuba? Here it is. Here's my show. You can go to Cuba and bring back $500 worth of cigars for each person legally. Now, I had a box that only had like 15 to 20, and I was sweating like a runaway slave at a Klan rally. And the lady goes, "Did you bring cigars?" I was like, "If I did, are you going to take them?" She goes, "You know you can bring back $500 worth." I said, "Ain't that some shit?" Because I paid $1 for each one of these cigars. And so one of my buddies, because I sold them off for like $15. One of my buddies goes, "Hey, how do you know they're Cuban?" I said, "I bought them in Cuba." They're Cuban.
So I want to start taking some questions. And you guys that are watching, if you have any questions, throw them in the comment section and we're going to answer them. So C. Kelly, and how you doing, by the way, he says, "Are you talking rent relief?" And then Donovan answered her and says, "Zero rent relief ain't gonna happen. People should have been paying their rent or what they could." That's a wrap. So what is your suggestion for people who need to figure out a way to pay their rent in case they're not able to get some of this rent relief that Joe Biden says is available?
Hold on. I'm going to do the jig real quick. Is that how you do that? Okay, no. Never mind. I just listen to
you. Mean the Daffy Duck move?
I know. I'm doing the Pepe Le Pew over here. Hey, you know what's funny? I Airbnb my house, and one of my guests, they're going through it. They're trying to figure it out. And I said, you know what you could do is when I move, you could take over my house. And she goes, well, me and my girlfriend, we're looking to pay $1,000 a month. Right. And I was like, this house to live in, it's 3-bedroom, 3-bath, it's brand new in a gated community. I paid $2,200 in California. I'm across the street from the international airport. So you can only pay $1,000. Why don't you take your $1,000 and rent out the other 2 rooms for $500, $600, $700, $800 a month? Is that not rent relief? See, sometimes when we think about relief, we think about somebody giving something to us. What if we create something? So like me, let's say my budget was only $700, but I wanted to live in a house that was $1,500. I would just get a house and rent out the other 2 rooms. That's what I would do. For those of you, here's something that's...
What if they're not able to rent out a room? What else you got? Because rent relief, it's really like a needle in a haystack. You just don't know if you're going to get it or not. I know they say there's some programs, but it sounds like, there's a lot of bureaucracy going on. So what other things do you suggest for somebody trying to dig themselves out of a financial hole, potentially looking at eviction and being homeless?
Okay, so here's what I do. And me moving forward, and anybody that's watching this, my job is to add on top, not dig in the bottom. So if you're in a situation where you can't pay your bills, you probably need to do one of 2 things. Maybe leave that situation. Now, let's say you're in a house that you can't afford. Maybe you can, and I hate saying this, but maybe you can move in with someone else and stack your cheese. You could do that. Let's say you're in a 1-bedroom house and you can't afford it. So then take your ass to the couch and rent the room out. I mean, sometimes these things take drastic measures. You guys, I promise you, me and my girlfriend back in the day slept on my sister's couch. And every time somebody went to the bathroom, went to the kitchen, I heard them. And I was like, this is some shit. But I did it. And me and my girlfriend was pissed at me, but we did it. And we were able to go out and move into a big ass house and get back on with our life. And it wasn't that long. It seemed like forever. I don't even know if it was a few months. But here's what I'm saying is you have to do stuff like that. If you have a car, be creative with it. Okay, maybe you can live in it. Okay, don't live in the car unless it's a big RV or something, right? What's really popular, and especially in Texas, is a lot of people are giving up their homes and they're moving into recreational vehicles. I see a lot of RVs in Texas, man. Y'all got more RVs and boat dealers than I've seen in any other state. I mean, I've never seen so many RVs as I did when I was in Texas this weekend. So
another fast way to make some money too is, especially if you're looking for some extra cash to help pay the rent, is Ubering, DoorDash, Instacart, those type of things. I mean, I know people who are making hundreds of dollars a week and they're not spending a whole lot of time doing it. They're not doing like 40 hours, nothing like that. But like you said, if you have a car and it's suitable to do those things, I mean, why not, right?
So, yeah. So those, you guys, you have to start thinking outside the box. If you're having trouble paying rent, what can you sell? What can you get rid of? What service can you provide? I'm going to let Donovan be quiet. Use your, I don't know how you popped in my mind, but like, what services can you sell? Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe there's a service you provide, food, I don't know, whatever it is, right? Some of you guys can do hair in your house. You could do massages. And there's things you could do. Figure out what you're good at and just do it, right? One of the people that's using one of my rooms, she walks dogs. She's like, I walk people's dog. They give me $30 to walk the dog. I have 12 dogs. I'll be walking down the street with a bunch of dogs. Cats too, right? So figure out what you're good at and just do that. Whatever it is, you guys, we have to rip the Band-Aid off, right? Like if I'm in a house and I'm going to get evicted, then I need to get going on the money strategies. What can I sell? What service can I provide? And there are strategies for, if you're getting evicted, and I'm just going to give you this. You can go to the court. You can, when someone files to evict you, most people, what happens is they don't respond to the eviction. If you respond to the eviction answer it. You can have a paralegal do that, and then you show up to court. That eviction will drag out for months. And in Texas, you guys have some hella tenant laws. I hesitated buying property in Texas just for that reason alone. So you can use the courts to help you. You can also file bankruptcy, which will ruin your life and your credit, but bankruptcy will pause and give you some breathing time. You can just file. You don't have to go through with it.
I want to add this, and maybe you all can, piggyback on that. You are going to, and I'm not speaking to anybody in general. I'm just saying you as, a term. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. There are people who are doing things they in a million years would have never imagined they would do. Like people walking dogs. There are people right now probably with PhDs that are walking dogs, that are cooking, making plates or driving Uber and a whole host of other things in order to make ends meet. And I know a lot of times we get caught up in our titles. Like I would never be doing that because I'm A, B, C, and D. One of the people that come to mind for me, you guys know Tabitha Brown. She is big TikTok sensation, black lady with a big afro, and you've seen her everywhere. She's, she was driving Uber, and on her break, she stopped off at Whole Foods and tried their vegan sandwich, some new vegan sandwich they had. And she made a video of her just not lamenting, but just gushing over this sandwich and how good it was. And bam, she took off. So, and she wanted to LA to be an actress, but it wasn't really panning out for her. And so after she made that video, Whole Foods contacted her, and then she started a YouTube channel and Facebook, and everything blew up for her. And then the pandemic hit. And she said she didn't know what she was going to do because they needed to move. And then TikTok came along and she got over 1 million subscribers in 30 days. And now she's on TV shows and she's hosting a TV show. But that lady was driving Uber and just took a chance and said, hey, I'm at Whole Foods. I'm eating the sandwich and the rest is history. So the point that I'm making is I'm sure it wasn't her dream or her goal to drive Uber. She saw herself as an actress, but her husband was a police officer for the LAPD. So they weren't doing that well if his wife was out there driving Uber.
That's
but
crazy.
She got out of her comfort zone, and I'm sure she was like, hey, I got to help put some food on this table. She was driving Uber.
What Dimitri is trying to tell y'all from the hood in Scott Plaza, stop riding them broke ass hoes and niggas around and get you some Uber customers.
I mean, you
Get
guys,
out of your comfort zone.
I have a guy that just paid cash for a car. We found a car for him. He paid cash. He says he makes $250 a night driving Uber. And then let me ask you guys a question. How many of you sitting at home right now are bringing home $1,250 a week? And he does this at night. He's bringing home $60,000 a year driving Uber. So there's some PhDs who are not bringing home 60 grand.
What Walter telling y'all is cool to drive Uber in Houston, but stay out of the dead end, the Southwest, and off a Homestead, and you might get to drive the next day.
So you guys have, the side hustles. You guys, here's another thing that I do is I stay on YouTube and Google. Anytime I have a question, I go to YouTube. I've learned so many things.
How can I help?
Ain't that some shit? Google's like, how can I help?
Here's a matching video.
My goodness. Everybody talking. So those side hustles do pan out, but you have to keep doing them. Here's something else too. I want you guys to go on, if you pay your bills, go to Experian, and they have what's called an Experian Boost. So if you go to Experian.com and you create a profile, they will keep track of your accounts. You can also add Equifax and TransUnion. Experian has what's called an Experian Boost. If you do the Experian Boost and you put all your credit cards and all your debit cards that you pay your utilities and cell phones for, the Experian will go and go through those credit card statements and everything, and then they will say, oh, they pay the utility bill and they paid it for the last 6 months. They will put that on your credit report through the Experian Boost, and it is free, right? And I can hear some people saying, I'm not giving them all my information. They already got it. Trust and believe. They have everything about you, I promise you. If you have an Alexa or any Amazon product in your home or a Google phone, as you just saw on my end, they already got it. That's why I stopped joking about kidnapping my ex, because, man, this shit is on tape.
Man, the man telling y'all, get you a side hustle and get rid of your side chick.
I mean, that's actually, Gary, that's actually really good advice. Booty is expensive. Especially if they're not coming to the table with the check.
And yeah, I agree with you. Booty is expensive and pussy costs both.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole, that's not my subject. So I just know from personal experience. Never mind. So anyways, the rent relief thing. So how do you get rent relief? Is relieve yourself. Rent your room out. If you have a 1-bedroom, then jump on the couch, rent out the room. If you have a garage, and in the area in Texas where we bought our first house, man, nobody parking in the garage. They live in them. Like almost everybody on the street living in the garage. They have converted these garages into rooms. In the desert where we started on a project, the neighbor, she converted her garage into an Airbnb. She charges $125 a night to Airbnb her garage, and she converted it to a room. Put a little kitchenette in it. Do you realize you can go online and Google kitchenette for like $1,200? You can get a stove, a refrigerator, and a sink in one little small unit. Put that in the corner, put a propane tank outside. The propane will run the gas and the refrigerator, by the way. If you have a refrigerator and it's still plugged up to the grid, get with the program, honey. You can put a propane tank and run your refrigerator. See, y'all in Texas, when the big freeze came, that wouldn't have been me. I got so much propane, I could blow up the block. I just plug in my fridge and my heat lamps, or keep wood. I don't know why people don't have wood. Anyways, you can sell wood. During the big freeze, somebody knocked on my door like, hey, I got wood, firewood. Give me $50 and this will last you for 2 weeks. They would have got 50 from me. I promise you. So I saw in my property in Texas, somebody chopped up the wood and stacked it up. That was nice of them. Now I know they planning on coming to get it, but it's going to be gone when they get back. That stuff is worth money, right? And also there is value in providing a service. So the rent relief has to be from you thinking outside the box. I watched this brother called I Am 500 on Instagram. And he says he buys it, he rents it, he pays like $200 a month for a car, and he wraps it and he lets people advertise the car. He wraps it and advertises for them. And then he rents it to people for Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and let them drive it, and they bring it back when they're done. Right? Okay. Mr. Pirate Brain, I'm gonna address it. You open the door, not me. That's a cool name.
Let me grab it.
Gary, hold on, Gary. Let me go first.
Okay, go ahead. I
want to be on the more positive end of this. Yes. Okay. 14 hours. Let's say you had to drive 14 hours a day to make $60,000 a year. How many people, if everybody listening to this made $60,000 a year and $12,000 of that they saved, put to the bank, used to build their credit, bought real estate, we would have less problems. So of course and really guys, if you own your own business, 14 hours ain't shit. 14 hours is lunch. You wake up at 6 a.m. and you work. What time it is right now? It's 6 o'clock in California. I've been awake since 6 o'clock, me and this notepad and working on my side hustles and my business. That's 12 hours. You know what I'm going to do when I get off this podcast? I'm going to eat dinner. I'm going to take my black ass back to work. 14 hours ain't shit. And we have to start thinking like Mark Zuckerberg. They worked around the clock to get Facebook off. And you're not going to get shit if you're thinking like an 8-hour day. You have to put in the time. Let me ask you another question. What are you doing with the other 8 months? What are you doing with the other 16 hours? You ain't doing shit with those.
Well, let me say this here, man.
Know all the Netflix shows is a problem.
Let me say this here.
Comment.
Mr. Pirate Brain said that you have to drive 14 hours a day, 6 days a week to make that kind of money. I drove Uber and taxi. That's not true. I drove a cab. It is about to be playoff time in basketball. Go park your goddamn cab by the stadium. You need to be doing airport runs. Say, man, you make that kind of money in a day if you really out there grinding and stop fucking around in that cab, man. As long as the wheels moving, you gonna make money.
I can't stand it.
Yeah, that's true.
You can make that kind of money.
You guys, you can do Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart, Amazon. You can have your car. You could have 8 things lit up. Ding ding. Oh, that's DoorDash. I'm gonna go get that money. Uber. You guys, you got to do what you do. These foreigners are coming in and they are kicking your ass.
What he telling y'all, you could sell ass, you could do hair, you could babysit all in the same house.
Yeah, now the ass part I didn't come from me, but what the part here, you guys, it's so, I don't want to say it's easy, but you just have to get started. I'm gonna tell you another thing. Me and my sister have the same aspirations. I've been talking about my Verbal Herb clothing line. Put something on a shirt that make you high, uplift you. Verbs that make you high, hence Verbal Herb. I've been talking about this shit on my kids, everybody. I give it to you, name it. The chick that's staying in my house overheard me talking about it. You know where she's at right now? Downtown LA, picking up fabric. She got the logo, the spokesmodels, the 2 Instagram influencers. The shit's about to crack. You know how much I've given her? 0. I haven't given her a penny. I said, we'll split the money. You get the party started, we'll split the money. She's gone. I haven't given her a dime. Sometimes you could sell a vision to people, and that is valuable. Vision is imagination with focus. That's on the shirt too, by the way. Right? No is a complete sentence. Hail to the no. I'm not taking your ass to the airport because I got to work on my business. No, you're not coming over tonight because I'm going to make you dinner. I'm going to have to change my sheets. I ain't doing it. I'm going to work on my business. I mean, no is a complete sentence. Trust me when I say, no, I'm not doing it for free. I had somebody send me a message. Oh, your membership's $100. Can you hook a brother up? Hell to the no. Like, if you can't pay $100 to have the financial advisor for Kanye West and a bunch of celebrities and people that have made people rich help your black ass or whatever color you are, then we don't deserve to be speaking. Period. I mean, like, that's aggressive, but come on, you guys, we have to start. My girl Erica, I don't see her yet. She's on here. Ask Erica how she's done. Or I can name 20 people that watch this show whose shit is way better. I got some people tomorrow, their life is about to change financially. Like bills going away, money hitting checking accounts. Like it's a new life. It's a new day. Nina Simone style. So it's like you have to engage. And another thing, I don't want to miss my points. So I talked about self. You guys go to YouTube and Google credit cards soft inquiry. You get a bunch of credit cards that will, or accounts, some of them jewelry that will give you a credit card without doing an inquiry. Because when you do it in hard inquiry, lenders go, oh shit, they're shopping. But when you do a soft inquiry, it does not show up, right? So you need, I don't know if y'all can kill the pie brain thing here. It's freaking me out. There's all kind of things that you can do. Do you understand what I'm saying? But just start with something. And I say use your tax return to build credit and to build wealth, because now if I can go out and do a soft pull with Venmo, which means I have a Venmo account, right? Oh Lord. I knew, Al, where you been, man? I missed the jokes. But if you have a Venmo account, like I use Venmo to pay everybody. And then Venmo's like, hey, would you like a credit card? I click yes, and they sent me in 30 seconds $7,500. They sent me a virtual credit card that I could put $7,500 on. With $7,500, I can Venmo Donovan. Donovan can hand me my $7,500 in cash, and I can go put that down on a raggedy piece of property in Denton, Texas, or Frisco, or Bowie, Texas, or Corinth, whatever. You know, my girl just bought this house, this Italian villa for 40 grand. Oh my God, it needs so much work. Y'all saw me on Facebook, and they're like pounding. I was scraping stuff, knocking off tiles. Man, we was out there doing the damn thing. She spent 40 grand on this Italian villa. What if, and the thing is ratchet, it's toe up. The lady goes, 4 people have owned it. Nobody can do anything with it. And I said to the lady, they don't have my vision. Trust me, when you see this thing in 6 months, it's going to look like Tuscany over here, right? So the place is $40,000. Where do I get $40,000 from? Hey, what in the hell? Where do I get $40,000 from? I take money off my credit cards and I find out who the seller is and say, hey man, this property has been sitting over here forever. It's ran down. Obviously, you ain't doing nothing with it. Can I give you a down payment? Take over put the mortgage in my name, and I will pay you in payments to own this property, or I will put a down payment. I will fix up the property, renovate it, which means I'm going to borrow money from hard money lenders. And then once I renovate it, we will split the money, which means I am not out of pocket. A hard money lender, you can say this house is worth $100,000 fixed up. I'm buying it for 40. A hard money lender wants to make sure you have skin in the game, and they will say, okay, we have 50% equity. We're going to cut you a check to fix it up, which means the house is fixed up and you can sell it, and you and this owner split the money. So what I'm telling you guys, so your tax returns and your stimulus money, these are down payments on properties. You can buy a raggedy ass old RV, park it down, take it to Shady Shores in Texas, and you can park this RV on there. You can clean it up and you can Airbnb it. And before the authorities showed up, you already made 3 months worth of money. I mean, like,
well, damn.
I would not be broke, period, ever again. And if I lived in, you guys, I was in Texas. I saw so much damn opportunity. I'm rolling down Shady Shores, and I'm like, where this community is booming, and I'm seeing this lake property that's abandoned. They want like $90,000 for this ratchet abandoned property. But I know I could like clean it up and bring a tractor in and give this dude $500 for the day and build a little driveway to the lake and put a boat ramp down there and Airbnb it out for $100 a night.
If you're really looking for some fucked up shit, I know where all the property is fucked up at in Houston. I can turn you on to some real fucked up shit.
Now, and when I say these properties have to be renovatable or rehabable, I don't want a security guard every time I go home. So, but those properties too are actually going to be on the up. You guys, this gentrification thing is real. I'm telling you, and I'm not one to really get too much into race because I have people of all colors around me. But man, white people have said we are willing to risk being in the hood, dealing with violence, dealing with all this shit we talk about in hip hop songs to build our wealth. You understand that's what gentrification is. It's them moving into a neighborhood, moving into a neighborhood that they would not normally live in to better themselves financially. You guys, here's the other part I want to say to you. You are more at risk as a black man walking down the street in the hood than a white man walking down the street in the hood. I promise you. And I've had to check dudes on this. I'm like, dude, why are you sweating me? I see all these other races. You want to pick the brother out and fuck with me? That's black on black crime is real. Like if Black Lives Matter, if you want a real job, start with that shit, right? So, and start with the money. You guys, people of color, there's no excuse for none of us not to be rolling in the money, period. If you like candles, sell candles. It don't matter. Just Start with something and stop with the bull. I feel like Jim Cramer, right? Like, I bought this bull off the streets of New York from a brother, man. He was selling bull. I go, man, some bull, but I'll take it. Gary got tartar sauce. You know how you make tartar sauce? With yogurt, green onions, like seriously, chives, egg whites, bam, 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 bam. I know because I make tartar sauce.
You finna get ran off the motherfucking drilling rig. You finna get ran off the drilling. You done made everything but tartar sauce.
You can sell tartar sauce. You go to watch one of my YouTubes, my cooking show. I make tartar sauce on the show with my salmon.
You better be a LLC then so they can sue your company and not you.
I mean, I don't care if they sue me. Like, here's what I'm saying, you guys. Just get the ball rolling. If somebody eats my salmon fish sticks and gets sick from my tartar sauce, then okay, you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying just pull the trigger. Some of you guys can get out in the kitchen. Like, all your neighbors going to work and spending $20 a day at fast food. Hey, man, I tell you what. I will make meal prep you and your family's lunch. When you go to work, every day I have your lunch ready. I'll put it in boxes, little black things with the tops and the clear bottom. I'll make your lunch for the week. Boom. Give me $200-300 a month, which give me $75 a week, and I'll meal prep your food. You see what I'm saying? If you have 10 of those at $3,300 a month, that's $3,000 on top of your job and your Airbnb and your car business. Your neighbor needs a car. He can borrow your car for $15 for the night, and he can Uber. Some of you guys have cars sitting in your driveways, and people are paying Uber $200-300 a month through their rent program. That's insane.
Absolutely. No, that is absolutely insane. And so we are going to end this live. All y'all can see is my eyes.
Yeah,
we're gonna end. We're gonna end this live, but I want to talk about my daughter was at the mall, and a brother came up to her. He wrote a book. She said it took him 5 years to write this book. It's a fictional story about group economics. So, just use your talents and make it do what it do. So she's gonna read it. I'm gonna read it, and I hope to talk about it one day on the show. But dig deep into your creative juices and figure out what you know how to do. And as I always say too, I have 2 degrees. Donovan has 100. Gary's working on his 2nd degree. But no matter how many degrees you have, degrees do not teach you hustle. That's something you gotta want for yourself. And so, Donovan, what say you as your closing words?
What I say is, again, if you guys are interested in joining the 1 Million Men Against Demetra K, please DM me, and we'll get that rolling. As she gives us that knowledge and puts in that work and gives us that work. But again, you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Just about every Thursday we have Walter here, and there's not a Thursday that has not passed by that I did not learn something I did not know. And he gave us some super great advice tonight, and I really appreciate that, Walter, as you do that. Saturday, do not forget our candidate that gives a damn about our kids. We're having that major fundraiser Saturday, the monthly fundraiser. We did it last month. We raised a lot of money. But what I want to do this time is challenge you guys. Do not let Jerry outfund us this Saturday with his own money. So that's going to be my challenge. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to donate. I've been donating. And like I said, $25 a week, $5 a week, $3 a week. If you could afford to do that, by the time the election comes down, we're going to be set. So we're going to see you guys Saturday. Please, we'll wait to see you guys tomorrow. Free Flow Friday. Can't wait to see it tomorrow.
Yeah, man. We getting ready for Saturday, man, and we don't script the show. You get to ask me questions about education, and I have to answer those questions. I got to answer those tough questions, and I'm ready to answer them. It's not like I'm not ready to answer them. And I thank all of y'all that have already donated, plan to donate again. Say, man, we got it. I'm gonna tell you now. Hard work beat talent when talent don't work hard. That's all it boils down to. And my opponents, Sean Russian, I'm gonna eat you like a bowl of grits, girl. Myrna Gidry, you looking like some red beans. I promise you. I'm gonna eat greedy on y'all, man. I challenge them to come on one Saturday. Let's debate the issues live on the War Zone. Let's talk about it. Let's stop the faking. But you know, I'm ready. I'm in Minnesota. It's getting to be the weekend. You know it's about to go down. The trial is Monday. It's going down. I'm gonna be reporting live from the courthouse. As close as I can get to the courthouse. I'm going down there. And all I can say is, you know, I love animals, Walter. You know, I love animals. But they better not make me act a motherfucking donkey down there Monday. Hey, man. We the best in the business. It's the war zone. I want to thank my good friend, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K, the Money Man, Walter Couture, and I am the 5-star general. Saturday, 3 o'clock is going down. Virtual fundraiser. The only way we lose this thing is if we don't show up. If you're running against me, I got a size 10 and a half that I'm ready to put in your ass from now till November because it's time for these kids to get what they deserve. Until tomorrow, we'll holler at you.